stood beside the door. You look back for just a moment, like you'd done 1,000 times before.
I wanted to say, don't leave me, but the words stayed in my chest. So I watched you walk away and pretended it was best.
Some goodbyes are never spoken, they just live inside our eyes.
You were my favorite goodbye,
the one I never wanted to say,
the sweetest part of my memories, the time could never take away.
You were my favorite goodbye,
though it broke me when you left.
I loved you through the ending,
and I love what we had left.
your old perfume still lingers on the shirt you left behind. I keep it in the closet like a secret from my mind.
The radio plays our old song when the city falls asleep, and every little melody still knows the love I keep.
I don't wish you back anymore, I just miss who we were.
You were my favorite goodbye,
though I wasn't ready then.
some people leave our lives,
but remain inside our hearts.
you were my favorite goodbye,
The chapter I can't erase,
because losing you completely would mean losing our beautiful days.
if I can meet you one more time,
I wouldn't ask you to stay,
I'd only say thank you.
for loving me that way.
Not every goodbye is a failure,
Some are simply love's last embrace. You were my favorite goodbye,
and maybe that's okay.
some loves are meant to touch our hearts.
Then quietly walk away.
Oh, you were my favorite goodbye,
Now remember you,
not for how the story ended, but for how beautiful it once grew.
you used to call me after midnight just to hear me breathe. Now the phone stays quiet, like you don't think of me. We used to chase the moonlight down streets we knew by heart. Now every road we travel only takes us farther apart. I felt you changing slowly, but I was scared to know.
The night you stopped choosing me was the night I lost us both. I was still holding on to love,
choosing me. I could see it in your eyes. You were already somewhere else, while I was still asking why. Your picture by the window still catches morning light, and every little memory comes back to me at night. I remember how you held me when the world was hard to face. Now I only hold the silence where you used to leave your warmth. I kept believing in tomorrow. You had already said goodbye.
The night you stopped choosing me, I still called you mine. I was trying to say forever. You were running out of time. The night you stopped choosing me, there was no one to blame, just two hearts losing rhythm while pretending they were the same.
If I had one more chance, would you choose me again?
I wish I could say yes, but my heart had changed.
Some goodbyes begin before the words are spoken.
The night you stopped choosing me
Still lives inside my heart,
I loved you through the silence.
even as we fell apart.
The night you stopped choosing me,
Was painful, but now I know
you can make somebody stay
when their heart wants to go. When their heart wants to go. You still kiss me in the morning, still whisper, take care. But there's something in the way you touch me that tells me you're not there. You still ask me how I'm doing, still smile when I walk through, but I can feel the distance in everything you do.
I don't need you to tell me. My heart already knows. You don't love me like you used to, and I feel it every night. You still hold me in your arms, but nothing feels right.
You don't love me like you used to, and I wish that wasn't true.
I'd rather hear the painful truth than keep pretending it's still you.
We used to talk about forever, like it was ours to keep.
Now we barely say good morning
Before you fall asleep, your favorite song is playing, but you don't sing along. And I'm sitting here beside you,
wondering where we went wrong.
maybe love doesn't disappear.
It just becomes something else.
amazing quietly before the final goodbye. You don't love me like you used to, and now I finally see I can't keep asking yesterday to come back and rescue me. You don't love me like you used to, but I remember what was true. Because once upon a time, my love, you loved me, and I loved you too. I watched you from the doorway as you stood beneath the light. You looked so much like yesterday, but somehow not tonight. Your voice was still familiar, smile was almost the same, but something in the space between us was calling out a change. I couldn't tell when it happened, I only knew it did. You became a memory while you were still here. I was holding on to someone who was slowly disappearing. You became a memory before you ever left. I kept loving who you used to be while losing you instead. Your coffee on the table, your shoes beside the door, little pieces of your presence didn't feel like you anymore. I wanted to ask you if you still believed in us, but the answer in your silence was already loud enough. I kept searching for a reason, you kept giving me your eyes. You became a memory while you were still here. I could feel the distance every time you came near. You became a memory before the final goodbye. Some people leave the room long before they say goodbye. I wish I knew the last day we were truly us. I wish I could have stopped the feeling from fading, but love can disappear quietly without making a sound. You became a memory while you were still here, and I kept calling it forever because I couldn't face the fear. You became a memory, and now I finally know sometimes losing someone starts before they go. kept your side of the bed, just the way you left it there. Your pillow still remembers the weight of you at night. I never changed the curtains, never moved the little things, like somehow keeping them untouched could keep our memories alive.
I know you're not coming back,
but my heart hasn't learned that yet.
I kept your side of the bed,
like you might come home tonight.
I kept a little space for you
underneath the moonlight.
I kept your side of the bed,
even after you were gone.
some habits stay forever when the person doesn't.
The room gets cold at midnight, so I pull the blanket close. For just a second I imagine that I'm holding you once more. Your old shirt hangs behind the door, I still know your perfume. It's strange how someone can disappear and still fill every room. I don't wanna live in yesterday, but yesterday still lives in me.
I kept your side of the bed
while you found somewhere new.
I kept talking to the silence,
like it might answer me with you.
I kept your side of the bed
till the nights became too long.
Then I finally understood,
keeping it empty
wouldn't bring you home.
Tonight I'll fold your pillow
And put your things away,
not because the love was meaningless,
but because you can't live there forever.
some memories need a place to rest, so the heart
Can breathe again. I kept your side of the bed
for longer than I should.
I kept believing love would return.
If I waited long enough,
I kept your side of the bed,
but tonight I'll let it go
I'll keep the love inside my heart.
and finally close the door. You smiled at me this morning like nothing had gone wrong. I asked you if you love me, you said of course I do. But there was something in your voice that made the room feel cold, like you were saying words your heart could no longer hold. I would have understood the truth if you had trusted me with it.
I wish you had told me you were falling out of love. I would have held you gently Instead of holding on too much, I wish you had told me before you disappeared. I could have cried beside you instead of losing you in silence here.
You stopped telling me your worries, stop reaching for my hand. I kept thinking you were tired, I didn't understand. I made excuses for your distance, said we'd find our way, but every night you moved away, a little more than yesterday. I wasn't afraid of losing you, I was afraid of knowing why.
I wish you had told me you were falling out of love. Maybe we could have faced it before the feeling was gone. I wish you had told me instead of pretending we're okay. I would have loved you through the ending if you'd let me share the pain.
Was there a night you stopped dreaming about us?
There wasn't one single night, it happened slowly.
Some hearts don't stop loving suddenly, they just stop finding their way back.
I wish you had told me you were falling out of love.
I wouldn't have begged forever from a heart that had enough.
I wish you had told me, but now I understand.
Sometimes honesty arrives too late to save what we once had. You fell asleep beside me with your fingers in my hand. I thought we'd wake together like we'd always planned, but somewhere in the midnight you quietly changed your mind. And when the morning found me, you were already leaving mine. I wish I'd known that night
was the last we'd ever share.
You left before the morning came,
before the sun could touch your face.
I was still dreaming of forever.
You were already gone without a trace.
You left before the morning came, and took the warmth away. Now every sunrise feels a little colder
than it did yesterday.
Your coffee cup is waiting exactly where you left it. I never moved a single thing, I couldn't bear to touch it. The curtains catch the morning breeze the way they always do, but every little corner still reminds me of you.
You left before the morning came, before I understood that sometimes love can disappear, even when everything looks good. You left before the morning came, without a final word.
The silence that you left behind
Was louder than anything I'd heard.
If I could hold that night again,
I'd never close my eyes.
maybe some goodbyes happen,
While we're still dreaming,
and some hearts leave quietly
before the morning arrives.
You left before the morning came,
But I still carry you
in every quiet sunrise,
in every sky of blue.
you left before the morning came.
And now I finally know
Some love stories end at midnight,
before the world can see them go.
I never needed crowded rooms or roses at your door. I loved you in the little things and hoped you'd ask for more.
A coffee waiting in the morning, your jacket on my chair, a hand resting on your shoulder, just to let you know I'm there.
Maybe I loved you too quietly for you to hear my heart.
I loved you in the quietest way,
Without asking you to stay,
I gave you all my little words.
in the simplest yesterday.
I loved you in the quietest way.
While you were drifting far,
I thought my silence meant devotion.
you thought it meant I didn't care. I learned the songs you loved and hummed them when you cried. I knew when something hurt you before you ever had to hide.
But somewhere in the years between us,
I forgot to say the words.
I thought you knew I loved you.
Maybe that's where we got lost. I was speaking through my actions, you were waiting for my voice.
I loved you in the quietest way.
You were listening for a sound.
I was building little bridges, you were waiting to be found. You in the quietest way.
And maybe that was wrong,
Sometimes love can be sincere
and still not be enough. If I could go back, I'd say it every morning.
I love you, I need you.
Please don't go.
Maybe if we'd spoken sooner,
We could have found our way
but some words arrived too late.
to save yesterday.
I loved you in the quietest way,
And I'll never call it wrong,
because every quiet moment
was where my heart
I
belonged.
loved you in
talking about tomorrow, but I never asked you why. I kept making little plans for us while you were learning to say goodbye. You still slept beside me, you still held me sometimes, but there was something missing in the way you looked into my eyes. I saw the distance growing, but I called it just a phase.
I was still calling it love when you had already let go. I was still calling it forever when you were ready to go. I was still calling it love. Every time you turned away, I kept giving us another chance. You kept giving me another day.
I learned to read your silence like a language of its own. I knew when you were somewhere else, even when you were home. Your laughter became quieter, your touch became unsure. I kept knocking on your heart, but you weren't opening the door. Maybe I love the memory
More than what was left. I was still calling it love while we were falling apart. You were standing next to me, but already gone inside your heart. I was still calling it love because I couldn't face the truth. Sometimes holding on to someone means losing parts of you.
How long can a heart pretend
That everything is fine, only until the silence becomes louder than the love?
and sometimes the hardest truth
Is the one we've always known. I was still calling it love.
but now I call it goodbye.
I won't keep asking yesterday.
To come back into my life,
I was still calling it love
and maybe that's okay,
because I gave you all my heart before I learned to walk away.
you were sitting next to me underneath the bedroom light, but I could feel the distance growing through the night. You asked me if I was okay, I smiled and said I was, but somewhere in that silence I knew what happened to us. You were still here beside me, but your heart had gone somewhere else.
You were still here, but I was already alone,
holding on to your shadow
inside our empty home. You were still here, but I was already alone.
Sometimes loneliness begins
before someone is gone.
I heard you breathing softly on the other side of bed. I wanted to say I love you, head. The moonlight crossed the curtains and painted your face in blue. I wondered if you felt it, or if you'd already moved on too.
I kept reaching through the silence, but there was nothing left to hold. You were still here, but I was already alone.
We shared the same four walls,
but no longer shared a home. You were still here, but I was already alone.
I was fighting for a feeling
that your heart had outgrown.
Maybe loneliness
Isn't an empty room,
maybe it's sleeping beside someone,
who no longer sees you.
and sometimes the hardest goodbye
Is the one you never speak. You were still here, but I was already alone.
Now I know that love can't live
Where only one heart calls it home. You were still here, but I was already alone.
so I'll carry what was beautiful
And let the rest go.
I found your old letter inside a drawer last night. The words were full of promises that once felt so alive. You wrote about forever, you wrote that we'd be fine. I read it in the darkness and wondered when we changed our minds. Maybe we didn't lose the love, maybe we lost our way.
I couldn't say what we used to be.
I held the pieces in my hands, but they kept slipping free.
I couldn't say what we used to be.
Sometimes loving someone deeply still can make them stay with you. Your favorite record's playing, the one we used to dance to. I almost turned around, expecting to see you. The room still holds our laughter, the walls remember everything, but memories can't bring back what tomorrow couldn't bring. I kept repairing yesterday while you were moving on.
I couldn't say what we used to be.
I kept believing one more night could change our destiny.
I couldn't say what we used to be.
You were already letting go while I was begging love to breathe. If I had loved you differently,
Would you have stayed? Maybe
couldn't save what we used to be,
but I won't regret the love
you once gave to me.
I couldn't save what we used to be.
I'll let the past rest gently and carry what it taught me.
I couldn't save our forever,
but I can finally set it free. The rain is on the window, and your side of the room is cold. I still hear your laughter in the places we once called home. Your picture faces the doorway, like you're waiting to come back. I know you're somewhere far away, but my heart still follows that track.
you took your love with you, but left your shadow here. You left your shadow in my room,
And I don't know how to make it leave.
every night it sits beside me.
Every night I still believe,
You left your shadow in my room.
though you're somewhere I can't reach.
Funny how memory can feel closer than a dream.
I still know the way you smiled when you were trying not to cry. I still remember how you whispered that you'd never say goodbye. Now the clock keeps moving slowly while the world outside moves on, and I'm learning how to wake up and the person I love is gone. I keep talking to your silence like you're listening somewhere.
You left your shadow in my room, and it follows me at night. I keep turning toward the empty side, thinking you'll be there in the light. You left your shadow in my room.
And I can't blame you for the pain.
Some memories stay behind, even when people walk away.
Maybe tomorrow I'll finally stop looking for you.
Maybe tomorrow the room won't feel so empty, but tonight I'll let your memory stay. You left your shadow in my room,
But I'm learning to let it fade
I'll keep the love we once had.
and release the plans we made.
You left your shadow in my room,
But morning will come again,
and maybe one day I'll remember you without feeling the pain.
hand was resting on my chest, but your heart was letting go. The room was dark and quiet, only rain against the glass. I wanted to ask what changed, but I was scared to hear the truth at last. I could feel you fading before you ever said goodbye.
I could feel you fading beside me.
Little by little every night,
You were still holding my body,
but your heart was out of sight.
I could feel you fading beside me,
And I didn't know what to do.
I kept holding on to yesterday,
While yesterday was losing you. Your favorite song was playing low beneath the midnight rain. I remembered how you danced with me before we learned about the pain. You used to tell me everything, and now I had to ask twice, and every answer sounded like a stranger trying to be nice.
I kept pretending we were okay,
Because I wasn't ready
to lose you. I could feel you fading beside me.
though you never walked away.
You were leaving in 1,000 little ways.
Every single day,
I could feel you fading beside me.
and I still called your mind
Sometimes the heart sees the ending
before the eyes can recognize. If I had held you tighter,
Would you have stayed?
maybe you can't hold a heart that is already changed.
Some love doesn't break apart,
It simply disappears.
I could feel you fading beside me.
And now I understand,
I was trying to save a future.
you had already left behind.
I could feel you fading beside me.
But I won't chase you anymore.
I'll remember how you loved me
Before you walked out through that door. You still reached across the table just to pass the salt to me. Funny how your hands remember what your heart couldn't keep.
You still wore that little necklace I gave you years ago.
But somewhere in your quiet smile, I felt you letting go. I thought we were still writing the same love story.
I was still in love
when you fell out of it.
I was still building dreams while yours were fading bit by bit. I was still in love,
Calling your name at night.
you were already searching for
nothing sounded beautiful without laughing with you. I still saved your voicemail
just to hear you breathe.
Funny how the smallest things become the hardest to leave. You stopped seeing forever.
I never stopped believing I was still in love.
When you fell out of it,
I kept holding every promise you quietly unstitched. I was still in love
till the very last goodbye.
Sometimes one heart keeps beating
after love has died. Was our loving enough for two?
You were,
but one heart alone
can't carry forever.
Love needs two souls
to find the same horizon.
I was still in love
when you fell out of it.
Now every lonely sunset
feels a little different.
I was still in love,
And maybe I always will,
because the deepest love
doesn't disappear.
it simply learns
How to wake in silence.
You used to say my name like it meant the world to you. Now it sounds like something you don't remember how to do. We still share the same old memories, still walk beneath the same sky. But every time I look at you, I see a different kind of goodbye.
I felt you slipping slowly, but I kept holding on.
When you stopped saying my name,
I knew something had changed.
you still looked into my eyes,
but nothing felt the same.
when you stopped saying my name,
The silence said enough.
I was still calling it forever.
You were already giving up.
I remember Sunday mornings, coffee waiting by the bed. You would tell me all your dreams before the day had even started. Now the mornings feel so empty, even when you're standing there.
Sometimes being close to someone feels like they're nowhere.
I kept reaching for your heart,
You kept moving out of reach.
you stopped saying my name.
I started losing you,
Not in one dramatic moment,
but in everything you stopped
till
doing.
you stopped saying my name.
I knew we couldn't stay.
Some loves don't end with anger,
They just quietly fade away.
I wish I
Wish I could have told you when my heart was changing.
Maybe we were both afraid to say the truth out loud. When you stopped saying my name,
A part of me went quiet,
I kept searching for the old us,
but couldn't bring it back to life.
You stopped saying my name,
I finally understood.
sometimes love doesn't disappear,
It just stops feeling like it should.
That little corner cafe still knows our favorite seat. The waiter smiled and asked me, will she be here this week? I only smiled politely and looked down at my hands. Some questions break a heart more than the answers can. Some places never change, only the people do.
I kept waiting
At the place we met,
hoping love remembered
what our hearts forget,
I kept waiting
where forever began.
Sometimes hope keeps breathing
Long after love has ended. Your favorite song came softly from an old cafe radio. For a second I believed you'd walk in through the door. Every empty chair beside me
still carries your name.
Funny how memories
Never really change.
I kept returning to a moment that never came back.
I kept waiting
At the place we met,
watching strangers fall in love
while drowning in regret.
I kept waiting till the seasons changed,
But your goodbye
always stayed the same.
Maybe I wasn't waiting for you. I was waiting
For us,
sometimes.
the place stays forever, even when the people don't.
Love
Leaves echoes in ordinary places.
I kept waiting.
At the place we met,
Now I finally understand.
some stories never end.
held me close last Friday, but something felt so far. Your arms were wrapped around me, your heart was somewhere dark. You kissed me on the forehead, then whispered, "Sleep tonight." I wanted to believe you, but something didn't feel right. I could feel the ending in the warmth of your embrace.
I knew you were leaving by the way you held me, like you were memorizing the shape of me. I knew you were leaving, though you never said goodbye. Your arms were saying stay, your eyes were saying why.
You looked at me so softly, like someone saying grace. I didn't know that moment would be the last time I saw that face. The room was almost silent, the rain was falling slow. I wanted to ask you something, but I was scared to know. Sometimes the heart understands before the mind can hear.
I knew you were leaving by the way you held me. You stayed a little longer, like you knew what it would mean. I knew you were leaving before the morning light. I was holding on to forever, you were holding on for one last night.
Was that your final kiss? Did you know it then?
I knew something was ending, I just couldn't say when.
Some goodbyes are whispered
Before they're ever spoken. I knew you were leaving by the way you held me, and I still wish that moment could have lasted endlessly. I knew you were leaving, but I let myself believe. Sometimes we hold somebody even when we know they'll leave.
You started coming home later without telling me why. Your eyes were somewhere distant whenever I caught your eyes. You still kissed me goodnight, you still said you loved me, but every little gesture felt like something borrowed. I could feel the distance growing, but I was too afraid to ask.
You were leaving me in slow motion,
Day by day, night by night,
I was holding on to yesterday,
while you were changing your mind.
you were leaving me in slow motion,
Without ever saying goodbye,
your body stayed beside me,
but your heart was conversations got shorter. The kisses weren't the same. You stopped telling me your secrets, stopped asking about my dreams, and somehow all the little things became the biggest things. I kept pretending not to notice, because knowing meant I'd lose you.
You were leaving me in slow motion,
And I watched it happen there.
every time you turned away,
Every time you stopped to care,
you were leaving me in slow motion.
I could feel it in your touch,
I kept giving you my everything,
but somehow it wasn't enough. If I had asked you sooner, would you have told me the truth?
Maybe I was already leaving
Before I knew what I was losing.
Some endings take 1,000 moments
Before they become goodbye.
You were leaving me in slow motion.
Now I finally understand,
I can't hold on to somebody
who no longer wants my hand.
You were leaving me in slow motion.
But tonight I'll let you go,
I'll remember how you loved me
before you started letting go. You still answered when I called, still smiled across the room. But every little piece of us was fading far too soon.
You still wore the ring I gave, still slept beside my side.
But every dream inside your heart was drifting with the tide. It takes two hearts
To keep forever alive.
I was loving us alone
While you were letting go,
I kept watering the roses
after they stopped growing.
I was loving us alone,
Still believing we'd survive
but one heart can't keep burning
when the other lost its fire.
Your coffee turned to silence, your laughter turned to air. The room was full of memories, but you were never there.
I kept writing little notes you never got to read.
Funny how the strongest love
Can still be left to bleed.
I was fighting for tomorrow.
You were saying goodbye yesterday.
I was loving us alone
Till the stars forgot our names.
I kept chasing after sunshine.
Walking through the rain.
I was can love
was worth every moment we shared.
Every time you said goodnight, it felt a little colder. Every time you walked away, I felt you getting farther. You still kiss me at the doorway. Smile before you left.
But something in the way you held me
felt like something I had lost. I didn't know it was goodbye.
I only knew it hurt. I felt you leaving.
And every goodbye,
tonight, I felt you leaving.
And every goodbye,
your body came back home,
but your heart stayed outside. We used to count the minutes till we'd see each other again. Now I watch the clock alone and wonder where you've been. Your messages got shorter. Your I love you lost its sound. I kept searching for the old you, but you couldn't be found. I kept pretending nothing changed,
because truth was hard to face. I felt you leaving.
And every goodbye,
you were slowly disappearing right before my eyes. I felt you leaving,
but I still held on.
Sometimes we feel the ending long before it's gone.
Was there a moment you stopped wanting me?
I don't know when, I only knew the feeling wasn't there.
Some hearts don't break suddenly,
They fade one goodbye at a time. I felt you leaving.
and every goodbye,
Now I understand
why your eyes look so tired.
I felt you leaving, and I couldn't make you stay.
So I'll keep the love we had
And let the rest fade away.
waited by the window long after you went home, watching all the headlights, trying not to feel alone. Your last words kept repeating like a song inside my head. I kept believing somehow there was something left unsaid.
I was waiting for tomorrow.
You were finished with today. I waited for a love
that was already gone.
I kept singing our old song
After you stopped singing along.
Waited for a love
that couldn't come back home.
Sometimes hope keeps knocking
on a door that's turned to stone.
Your old photograph is fading by the lamp beside my bed. I still remember every word, every promise that you said. The nights became much longer after you walked away, but slowly I'm discovering
some wounds need time to fade.
I kept holding on to memories
because memories don't say goodbye.
I waited for a love
that was already gone.
You had found another sunrise.
I was still waiting on the dawn.
Waited for a love
that had already changed.
I kept calling out your name while the silence answered back. Maybe I wasn't waiting for you.
Maybe I was waiting for myself, waiting to believe that I could live without you.
Sometimes letting go
Is the last way we love.
I waited for a love
That was already gone.
Now I'm learning how to breathe
And carry myself on.
Waited for a love
that couldn't stay with me.
and maybe losing you was how I learned to finally be free. Oh, you still reach to hold my hand every time we cross the street, but somehow your touch didn't feel the same to me.
You still call me baby with the sweetest smile.
But love had been leaving for a little while. Your lips were still beside me. Your heart was somewhere else.
Your heart left before your hands did.
You held on to my fingers,
but no longer my soul. Your heart left before your hands did.
I kept holding forever
while you let it go.
The photographs are fading, just like yesterday. Funny how the colors leave the very same way. I still hear your footsteps walking down the hall, even after silence became louder than us all. I kept chasing your heartbeat after it stopped chasing mine.
Your heart left before your hands did.
You stayed inside this house, but not inside this love.
Your heart left before your hands did.
Sometimes goodbye begins
Long before goodbye does.
Tell me, did you know the day
You stopped loving me.
no,
Love faded like the sunset.
so slowly?
I couldn't see it too.
Some endings arrive without footsteps.
Your heart left before your hands did.
Now every empty room
Still whispers your name. Your heart left before your hands did.
but mine still stays.
Where yours used to live.
You still wore your wedding ring, still whispered sleep tonight, but something in your quiet eyes could no longer hold mine. The television filled the room with voices we ignored. Somehow we stopped talking without starting a war. It wasn't that you stopped loving,
You just forgot how. You forgot to love me slowly.
one sunset at a time. I kept writing love letters.
You stopped reading mine. You forgot to love me slowly.
While I loved you still,
Some hearts don't stop beating.
they just stop feeling. Your coffee turned cold beside your mind stayed untouched too. We were sharing the same silence like strangers always do.
The curtains danced with moonlight. The wind called out your name. Funny how the whole world moved while we stayed the same.
I was holding every promise, you were letting go of hope.
You forgot to love me slowly.
Without a single fight,
You drifted like the ocean.
out into the night.
You forgot to love me slowly.
Though I never let
memories can't become tomorrow again.
Some forever stories
End without ending. You forgot to love me slowly,
but I never forgot you.
every lonely sunrise
Still begins with you.
You forgot to love me slowly,
Still I hope you're free,
because loving you forever
will always be
part of me, part of me.
We were sitting in the darkness, listening to the rain. You were only inches from me, but I couldn't feel you there.
You asked me what was wrong. I said nothing, I'm okay.
But we both knew the silence had too much left to say.
I don't remember when it started.
I only know it changed.
That was the night
We stopped feeling like us,
still holding each other.
but losing the trust.
That was the night
We stopped feeling like us.
I was looking for forever.
You were looking for a way out. Your fingers touched my shoulder and slowly slipped away. I wanted to pull you closer, but I didn't know what to say.
The rain kept falling softly against the bedroom glass, and every drop reminded me that nothing ever lasts.
I could feel your heart growing distant while mine was holding tight.
That was the night
We stopped feeling like us,
two people in the same room
with nothing left to trust.
That was the night
We stopped feeling like us,
love was still between our hands.
but it wasn't enough. If I had known that night would be our last,
I would have held you longer.
even knowing you would leave.
Sometimes the last moment
Looks just like every other night.
that was the night
We stopped feeling like us.
I still remember your eyes when you stopped looking for mine. That was the night,
We slowly disappeared,
not because we stopped caring,
but because we stopped being there.
that was the night,
We stopped feeling like us.
and I still wonder
If we could have saved the two of us. my favorite sweater, still slept here every night. But somewhere in the quiet, you disappeared from sight.
You still reach to hold my hand when we crossed the street,
but your heart was miles away with every step we meet. I thought we were growing older.
You were growing distant.
I didn't know you were already gone. I kept singing forever after the music moved on.
I didn't know
Your heart had changed
I was loving yesterday
while tomorrow called your name. The picture on the hallway wall still smiles back at me, like nothing ever happened, like we were meant to be. I still leave your side of the bed
untouched every night,
hoping love might find its way
back before daylight.
You stopped dreaming beside me.
I kept dreaming for us both.
I didn't know you were already gone,
Your body stayed beside me,
but your soul had moved on.
I didn't know.
So silence spoke the truth.
Sometimes love grows old before lovers do.
Tell me,
Was there one last moment?
you still believe?
There was, but I couldn't find my way back anymore.
Some hearts don't break,
They slowly drift away.